Chinaza Ada Igbo, thank you very much for taking this interview. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. At least,
cool.
As someone that is leaving, I feel good. You know,
that's praises due that. That's very true. I wanted to ask you something. So a long time ago, let me not say a long time ago, maybe about a year, half a year or so, I ran into your music. It was a music video that you had, and it blew my mind, right? And, you know, I don't think it's a secret based on my channel and things like that, where my interests are and where my heart lies and so forth. So when I saw your video, when I saw you taking our traditions and putting it in the form of music so perfectly, and the video was beautiful and everything to it, it really inspired me and took me back. So I said that, you know, I have to circle back and see if I can somehow, some way introduce you to my audience. So before we get to your music, I kind of want to ask, or to the specific songs that I saw, I wanted to ask, how did you get your start in music, or what is your background?
Well, I started music a long time ago when I was little, when I was a kid. But as time goes on, I started developing, as in realizing that, man, I can do this. Like when I started, I used to beat this thing called drum, this Igbo drum called Eba.
Eba, okay.
As when I was a kid, like I
how
would gather,
old?
Let's say around 6, 7, 8, between these three, this thing, because when I was 9 years, I left our place. I left my parents. I was living with another people. But when I was with my parents, before I was 9 years, I started as in beating, as in showcasing this talent in me, but I never knew. And my parents were like, the attention wasn't on that. Yeah. You understand? So I would gather, what's it called? Tin, milk tin, all this tea tin and all that. I'll gather them, gather sticks, as little as I was then. Yeah. Sometimes now that I'm now an adult, when I remember I used to, I was like, man. So I would gather sticks. Seriously, I would pick chewing gum, I would chew it, then use it to put inside a broomstick like this. Just put it there. Then I'll be beating. I'll gather my fellow children. I'll tell them, sing anything. They will sing. I will start beating. They will sing. I will start beating. You know, I'll be beating exactly like. Then, as time goes on, when I was 9 years, I left my people. Right from time, I'm a music lover. I love music. So, but I never knew that I have that gift of singing my own song as well. I love people's song and all that. So, but when the passion began to show, I started realizing, I realized that, man, I can do this. It was when I was in secondary school. You understand? And my JS, I started composing my own song. I started singing. I started coming out in some of our social gatherings in school. I would perform as I would sing, and people would be like, wow, whenever I come out and sing, people would love it. So it started becoming more interesting, you know. That was it.
No, I believe it. You know,
I started music a long time ago when I was very little. But we can say I started officially as in when I was in secondary school. Do you get?
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That was when I started looking for studios.
Okay, that's fantastic. You know, it's interesting. The things your chi brings you into the world to do, you often see them manifest or happen in your childhood, as in it's as
Yeah,
if you've known this whole time that this
I'm
is who
telling
you're
you.
supposed to be. You understand? So it's wonderful
Yeah.
that your story reflected that, and I believe it. I believe that you were, you know, probably famous as either in your compound or town or whatever. I completely believe it. So now there's two questions, right? That there's two things that kind of came to mind that makes your music stand out. It is not so much that you do music, but the subject matter that you do. Your music is infused with Odinani and Igbo, our ancestral way and our ancestral philosophy on life and so forth, and our connection to Chukwu and so forth. So it made me think two things. One, it is very difficult to convince Nigerian parents that you want to do music. Two, it is very difficult to convince Nigerian parents you want to do this type of music. So I wanted to ask you, because I don't know, I don't know too many other people doing what you're doing. I think you, and I saw another person, I want to say Ijelebo. I know that you guys did the song together, you know, that type of thing. So I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to make the type of music that you're making?
Please come again. I didn't get the last word. Is it?
What inspired you? What inspired you to make the type of music you're making? So the direction, the subject matter, the Odinani, all these different things.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you. You see, we Africans, or let me say, yeah, Africans. One of the problems we have is that we abandon our ways of life, our own indigenous way of life. You understand? And choose foreign religion. Do you understand? And then when you come to Africa, especially Nigeria, you understand? Christianity is what we embraced and left our ancestors' ways of life, our own indigenous way of life. I don't even get to me.
Oh, completely.
Now, when I started music, as in when I started singing, I was a Christian. I was born into a Christian family. Do you get? But I was still singing. It's a talent in me. It's now left for you to decide how you're going to sing your song, the kind of song you're going to sing. So as a Christian, I choose to sing Christian song then. But along the line, when I started making research, you know, I started some kind of asking questions, making some research and asking myself some questions. Then I come to understand that we Africans, or let me say Nigerians, because in fact, it's common among Africans. I like talking about FMC as in our own side.
Yes.
So I come to realize that, come on, it is good. It is very, very important that one connect back to his or her roots. You understand? So I become self-conscious. You understand? So because of that, I was like, I have to leave everything about Christianity. I was like, man, me being a Christian is not who I am. You understand? Christianity, before Christianity came, there is this thing we are known for. There is this lifestyle we live. You understand? So I started telling myself the truth. So when I discovered this, man, I have to connect. I have to return like a lost daughter. You understand? Because when we were in the church, like ancestral Christians, the Christianity is against our ancestors. We used to cast, We used to buy anything that has to do with our cultural heritage. It was painted evil. So because of that, we don't want to hear about culture. We don't want to hear about anything that has to do with our roots. So when I discovered that it's not good at all, so that we are losing it, I have to come back. So when I reconnect back to my roots, everything that looks fake. So if I continue singing that Christian song, man, I'm not telling myself the truth.
Yeah.
You know, so since I've come to realize, start telling myself the truth. So I have to also tell people the truth. So I decide to change my music and redirect it back to this kind of music I sing, which has to do with reconnecting back people to their roots, making them realize the need and the importance of one holding onto his or her roots, because one's power lies in his or her roots. There's no two ways about it.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
That's how I started doing what I do, and with boldness and pride.
Jashika. Yeah, you know, it's interesting because it's always interesting hearing stories like this, because in my own household, my mother was very Christian, but my father, he couldn't care less, you understand? And so it was never strongly enforced on me like that. But it's interesting to hear, because I feel like my own journey in learning these things and digging further into my own roots was probably a little easier than your own, because you're from a family, I'm assuming, that's also Christian. Everybody around you is Christian. So when you decided to take the step that you did and start looking in a different direction, what was the response from your family?
Yeah. It wasn't an easy stuff, you know. You're talking about family, right?
Yeah.
How I was able to, well, me, I don't know if I should say it's stubbornness. I don't know if I should say it's smartness. There is this attitude that when you show, as in, this is your attitude, this is how you do your thing. To me, I call it smartness, but some people will liken it to be stubbornness. So whatever you choose to call it, whether stubbornness or smartness, that was what helped me. You understand? Now, I realized this, I realized myself. I become aware of who I am and decide to toe that path when I was an adult. You understand? When I was in a level, at the age where I can decide to do whatever thing I can do. Now, my parents cannot decide for me. You understand? I was a grown-up when, let's say 4 years ago. You understand? I'm 20-something years now. So it's strange. It was strange when I started. I was so bold. I called my parents. I told them, see, this way that we are following, is not the way. This is the way. Now they were like, come on. What is this girl saying? Have you been bewitched? Hey. You know? Yeah. So, but my mom, you know, mothers, when it comes to this church of a thing, I feel like saying, I didn't carry them, for him.
Just like basket.
I'm telling you, my father, my father wasn't even a church person.
Right.
You understand? He wasn't even a church person, but he doesn't practice Odinala or whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, same
but
with
he's not a church person. So when I was saying last thing, he was like, he was surprised, like he knows me as a church person. He was like, wow. But it's true. What you're saying is true. You understand? So my dad wasn't even, it was my mom that was like, hey. All of a sudden, it was like, geez, because when it comes to our family, I happen to be the person. I mean, the least that they will expect will fall out from the church. Okay. So it was surprising, but at the same time, my mom was like, no, for this girl to keep saying this, and is very, very proud. I think, so me, I started using smartness. I was like, because there was a place in the Bible where they say, as Jeremiah 6:16, as a smart person, I was like, okay, I brought it, I read it for my mom. They said, look, go seek ye the ways of your ancestors. Okay, ask question of the good ways that your ancestors followed, that you should follow that path therein, that you may be saved. But you have chosen not to follow that way, and that is why you are suffering. So when I read that, I read it in Igbo version, as in the way my mom was, and she was like, what? I see, she's been going to church, she's not saying this. You know, many people, even till today, they are going to church. They've not come across such this thing. But these were one of the places I saw when I was making my research. I was like, what? These people are not even doing what the so-called Bible says. So I started bringing some quotations that's even inside that Bible. I use it, you understand, to teach and open her eyes. She was like, hey, as if she got tired, like, no, take me, Mwanka, you know. So when I was saying it, you see that Nanka buru ime ezioku ade ekpuchi aka. Afọ ime nke a ezioku dịka afọ ime. Pregnancy, you can't cover it. No matter how you try to cover pregnancy, it will show.
It will show.
She was like, so that alone made her like, she left me. She wasn't against me. She was like, ah. My dad was like, so I started asking them questions. I started using, I asked them, there is this thing that you people said that was done. There's this practice that our people normally do in the olden days. Even when you, my parents, were little. You understand? And you told me that when you were doing those things, there was peace. The kind of evil that we see today wasn't seen then. You understand? Mom was like, yeah, it's true. Those days, you know, that we were holding on to our culture, our cultural practice, we live it as our lifestyle. Nah. So what are you talking? Why did we live that way? To be that because say church there, it is because Christianity came and told you that your own, as in the lifestyle you're living, yeah, because I was giving them facts. You understand? And I'm very happy that I have an understanding parents, because there are people that I've heard some people's stories, some people that also choose these very paths. Because most of them do come to me, both on Facebook, and ask me, Ada, how are you, how are you coping doing this, as in living this kind of lifestyle and do this kind of music, as in under the roof of your parents? I mean, because they do tell me that na fight between them. So most of them, they dodge whenever they want to pray with their children. They dodge. They don't want their parents because it's gonna cause probably their parents not supporting them, maybe. So it wasn't easy for some people, but my own, I'm telling you, it was easy for me. Yes, and because I have an understanding parents, I give them fact. They looked into it, they will say that everything I'm saying is true. You understand? But just that okay, they were like, it's not our fault now. At least it didn't start that we didn't living our cultural ways and embracing Christianity didn't start from them. Their own parents, their own parents didn't. So that's, I'm not going to blame them, and that they're now Christian. That it's going to be hard for them to. So, but if I feel like, let me do it. So I'm doing it. Even some people, even in my village, when I travel to village, I go straight to, you know, when you come to each communities in Ala Igbo, which some people call it Arusi, some people call it Abara, then they have their name. I go to the one in my village. I go meet the Ezemo. If there's something I have like Oji, Cola, sometimes, foul. I present to more. Goromo for now, I don't care. Even in my village, I'm not hiding this thing. And so it comes to the point that they started like telling my parents, I mean, how can you people allow your daughter to be doing this kind of My parents are like, nah, we can't do anything about this. You understand? She said that this is the way she wants to. Come on. So they were expecting my parents to like stop me. No way. My dad said, Ada, so you can, gossipers can only gossip. You can't stop me so long as I'm doing it in my father's house. And my father gave me his support. So that's just how it is.
Yeah, you know, oftentimes you come to find that it's not even the parents that are concerned. It's
Please come again.
I thought somebody said, yeah.
Come again, please. Don't be offended.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, oftentimes you find that it's not even the parents that have an issue, but that in the minds of those parents, they're worried about what other people will say. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's within the house or if you do it in secret, a lot of times they don't have an issue, but they don't want you to now show the neighbor or show the people in your community, that type of thing. So the fact that you're just going right ahead, like you said, you go straight to the Irish, whatever you want to call it, more of the community, you pay your respects before you even, you know, that type of thing. The level of boldness is very rare within this generation, at least from my perception anyways. So, you know, kudos to you on that, seriously. So I wanted to ask you something. So the first song I saw was a song on Ushime. It was the video you did by the river. I think you can remember that one.
Yeah, is it the one I did with Ijelobo?
Yes, that was the very first one I saw, you know, before your album came out. And so I was looking at that one, and what was interesting to me is the specific subject matter. Now, there's something interesting that you said early on. You said that, you know, you started off singing, you had it in you, it had to come out somehow, some way. You were using it, you know, of course, to sing Christian and church songs and so forth. And then, of course, as you became wiser and more aware, you switched. Now, what was interesting about that story to me is because a long time ago, I remember I was having this conversation with my own father, and he told me that a lot of the songs that they're singing in church, like the way they're singing it and that type of thing, that those are the songs people used to use to praise their chi back in the day. But that when the missionaries came, they commissioned people to start changing the lyrics. You understand? So
exactly.
Yeah, to start changing, but it's the exact, a lot of the songs you hear in a lot of, that's why if you like here in the US now, if you go to a US church, you won't hear any of the gospel songs that people use in Nigeria at all. You understand?
Thank you.
So you know that's what
I even have so many of them that if you want me to sing, I will tell you. But when you look into it, you know that this is the song.
This is originally, yeah. And you know, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I'm not 100% sure on this, but I remember even the song Amazing Grace. I could be wrong on this. I believe, and again, I could be wrong because they made a movie about this, but I haven't seen the movie and I haven't looked too far into it. I just know the general story. The song Amazing Grace is a very popular gospel song here in the US. It was originally a song being sung by an enslaved African woman. And a white man then took the song from her, changed the lyrics to the church thing, and now it's probably the most popular gospel song in the United States. Yeah. So I just wanted to comment on all that because that was very interesting, and it tied back and went full circle as to what my father told me. But I wanted to ask you something. Now you chose, you did the song by the river. You were singing about Oshimiri, that type of thing. I wanted to ask you what inspired that song because I love it. I play it regularly.
Well, you know, before when that song was done was last year, 2020. Before that song, I've been singing. You understand? I do get inspiration sometimes. When something is happening, I use the things happening around me. It inspires me. Then, as an Odinani practitioner, Dịka ndị ọgọ mmụọ anyị bụ ndị Igbo bụ. I don't know if this Igbo I'm using is okay.
I'm a man. I don't assume.
Because I'm not the answer Ada Igbo for mouth. Or if I'm speaking, I know.
Yeah.
The same thing with my song.
Emma can eat subtitles of yeah.
Because when you come to my music, you hardly listen to any of my track without Igbo in it. Even if I'm speaking English all through Igbo. In fact, na Igbo so it has been me. Even when in school, Igbo was my best subject, and
of course,
I pass everybody for that.
Wonderful.
So permit me to use Igbo, right?
Yes, why not?
Ndị ọgọ mmụọ anyị bụ Igbo na ọgọ mmụọ. Mmiri, it's one of the 4 natural elements. You understand? And these 4 natural elements are beneficial to life. Do you get? Now, one thing Odinala does is Odinala acknowledge nature. Do you get? Now, as onye ọgọ mmụọ, anyị na-agọ mmụọ, anyị na-agọdo anyị. Anyị na-agọdo these 4 elements, ikuku, mmiri, anyanwụ. You understand?
Yeah.
And they are energy. Buru spirit. And these 4 natural destiny are in us. Mmiri na adị anyị n'ime. Onye ọbụla mmiri kọrọ n'ahụ, if water is lacking in your body, man, you are in trouble. You understand? So I've seen many evidence to believe that water has an energy more on a mmiri. You understand? And it's more like a feminine energy. That is why we call Aichoro. That is, if you want to reference the energy in water, we normally say mmiri. You understand? Now some people will call it mami water. That's that way the English version. But as an Igbo person, we call it mmiri because of that energy in water. It's more like a feminine energy. So we call it mmiri. So now, as one of Gomwo, when you come to each village, they also have this river. Yeah, river dominated by spirits. You understand? So we do go there to pray with kola, do this and do that. And so as only Ogomwa, I practice Odinala. Ana mejena mmiri, agodo mmiri. You understand? Sometimes get there, I pray with kola. After praying, I bath, and I feel peace. You understand? I feel a lot of goodness in this. So I was like, man, I'm gonna sing a song. You understand? Because I've tested Miri's goodness. Number one, apart from the spiritual part of it, yes. When you are thirsty, you need water.
Yes.
You understand? And when you drink water, there is this satisfaction, there is this strength, there is this peace you feel. The same way when you are feeling heat, that is heat in a when you bath, you feel this calmness. Yeah. That's the natural. Let's just remove spiritual part of it. So you find that water is essential. Like I said, is one of the 4 natural elements that is beneficial to human beings, as in life, even plants. So, even in my place, there's this particular water that is meant for sacrifice, as in ritual, like you go there to pray, you go there to ask for anything you wish to, you understand? And you get answer. This is our way of life. We don't call on Jesus, we don't call on Abraham. All these things came later. But before then, we do go to river and pray. You understand? So there's this river in our place. There are many rivers where people go to beg, wash, but this particular one I'm telling you is specifically for go there to pray. You understand? There's a supernatural energy, power there.
Yeah.
So as I feel it and experience the goodness, and I was like, man, since now go, I sing song to make people return back to their roots. I also, in the same way, praise all these spirits, all these more in Angora. So I was like, nah, agamaguru nemiri egu. You understand? So I've written a lot of songs for nemiri, different kinds and all that. So Ijele Onyogbo, being a sister and a friend that is also into this part, you understand, that is also proud, practicing it. I was like, Ada, I would like make me a you sing. I would like to collaborate with you. You understand? As a starter, according to her, she wants to start doing music because she also has passion to her. So I would like us to do a song. You understand? Just like Chris says, we create a praise song to praise their Jesus, their God, their whatever. So as I don't know, now we praise more. Can you praise you have to go. So I was like, no problem. Whenever I'm chanced, I'll come over. So I came over. She was like, so how are we gonna start and all that? I told her, don't worry. I picked my phone as a instrumentals also inspires me. So I was like, I have a lot of instrumentals on my phone. Let me just play one or two. So I picked a particular instrumental that is more like reggae type and all that. So I was like, as I was dancing to the beat, then as I was singing, I was like, Oshimira tata, mirine nyendo, Oshimira tata, okemirine ajekele kanji. So I was singing, I was like, the instrumental entered me. So since the subject matter is to praise in the music, so I focused on that. So as I was singing, I was imagining like we came to the river to praise. So I just dropped that chorus like that, and Ijolo was like, wow, good. I got it. So that was how we are like, now, let's work on it, write a perfect lyrics. So each and every one of us, she was like, okay, do the chorus, let me do the verse. I was like, no problem. But meanwhile, I have other Nemiri songs, and which you can see as I dropped my album. You see another version of Egumiri that I sang. So music is
yeah, no, there was a song
music
on
is
your
not
album.
a hard thing for me. If I want to do music, if I want to, once I'm charged, okay, I can flow. So I just flowed like that. She was very happy. It was like, man, let's enter studio. So yeah, okay now. If you have the destination, let's go. I don't mind coach, even if it's in the night. So she has to take some time, do some of her verse, we work on it and all that. Then we went to the studio, did the song. Then it came out, and you know, it's and one of my reasons of wanting to do that kind of song is to also ginger, to motivate other people that are coming out boldly to practice Odinani. You know, to make them stop feeling inferior or feeling rejected, like they are alone doing this, because there are a lot of people that, because of what Christianity has done, it seems like it has taken over. So when you are doing this, practicing this Odinani that have been left for ages, so it looks odd. People will talk. Some of their talk may make people like you are shy to come open. So my reasons of doing some of this song I do with boldness is to inspire and motivate others, not to, not to get frightened. Or so you see a lot of people will now coming out commenting, wow, so they've now gotten a song that they used to replace the Christian one that they were playing, So if they come out to praise, maybe before they can pray, Because normally when we were Christians, then before sometimes like you need to sing to ginger your spirit, charge up
For
your
sure.
spirit, and so
Yeah.
they now have songs that they will use to ginger their spirit, you know. So
Wonderful.
that's one of the reasons why I choose to do that kind of song.
That is very important. You know, you said something too about the coming out boldly. I think that what is happening right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing that a lot of people are starting to ask a lot of questions the way you at one point started asking questions, but there's a fear of coming out boldly. Because, and I'm going to ask you about some of the feedback you got on your music, but I know with my channel, there was a young man who had messaged me, and he was trying to learn the basics, as in he didn't even know where to find Oji, like he didn't even know where to find it, that type. And he lives in Nigeria, he's in Nigeria. And so he's messaging me like, that these videos make sense to him. He's been asking a lot of questions, but he doesn't know where to find Oji. He wants to do prayer the way our ancestors did their prayers, but he's scared, And I said that if there's a voice within you that's telling you to do that thing, and that voice feels good and it feels pure and it feels honest and truthful, that he should go ahead and do it. And then we helped him find where he can find Oji. He said that when he started praying, or when he started doing his prayers too, he was in a university, 2 girls came and asked him what he was doing. He explained to them, I'm doing this, and they're like, oh, can we watch? So they watched with him. Next thing you know, those 2 joined in with him. He, all of a sudden, when on campus, he started being known for this thing. People started coming to him, asking him questions and that type of thing. And it was happening so fast, So this same guy, he's now going, there's a time where, school's dismissed and you go back home and that type of thing. And so he goes back home to his parents and that type of thing. And he wants to, because, part of the way that our ancestors prayed is by using or remembering the names of their own ancestors. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he wants to ask his parents their names, but he's afraid, he thinks, okay, maybe they'll get suspicious if I'm asking, that type of thing. He goes and asks his father, and his father was like so happy. You understand? His father was just happy. His father, hey, this is this one. He starts calling them all. Next thing you know, I kid you not, I started talking to him in March, maybe last year. As of, let's call it August, that previous year as well, he said that his whole family had joined him. You understand? Just because he had come out boldly. That everybody was thinking the same thing he was thinking, but nobody, somebody has to jump out first. You understand? So
yes, exactly.
I think that your music does that for a lot of people. What's the feedback you've gotten? What have people told you or anything like that?
Is it based on that kind of song I did?
Just, as that song is one, but then your entire album as well. You have an entire album. What is the feedback you've been getting from people? Have people been supportive?
Yeah.
Have they been that type of thing?
That was when I started new. Like I said, a lot of people are afraid to come out, but my boldness, I was like, even when I started talking about our culture, the need and the importance it is for one to reconnect back to his or her roots. At the initial stage, my Facebook, I do come there to post, write, and post some things. So, these are people you have like Christian friends on your list and all that. So initially, man, the feedback wasn't encouraging. They were like, come on. Some people will say that they will go into fasting and prayer for me. You understand? So that that I've been bewitched, that I've choose to follow the wrong path. I'm gonna go to hellfire. But because this is something I've come to make research and understand. So I know that they are talking out of ignorance. I only laugh. I kept on pushing, I kept on singing and posting, hammering the truth. And people, before you know it, some people left, some people unfriended me, some people unblocked, because I noticed. Then some will come to my inbox, they'll be like, they love me, they don't want me to go to hellfire, they don't want me to perish. I don't care. So some have talk. They left. They are tired because the more they keep coming on my list or coming to their news feed, they see me talking this, and most of them is itching to their ear. So just don't want to hear that you're saying this, and you're proud. Sometimes when you go sing, may Jesus have mercy on him, saying that you are the one that need mercy from Amadio. You know, most of these talk, you know, they pain them. So some of them were like, but I kept on pushing. So I decided to use my music as a singer. You know, musicians have this way of influencing people. Music is one of the tools you use to pass message. So as a singer, I was like, man, this is a very good gift. I'm gonna use my music. You know, music, one thing about music is once the beat, the rhythm is hitting your ear, you can't just, so long as a good rhythm is a good music, you just can't resist. You'll be listening. Right. Some people will say, let me forget about the message, but that music, so it kept on. I have a lot of people that till now, they're still Christians. Yeah. Christians do come to me now, come to my inbox. Ada, I love your song. Do you know the most funny and interesting part? The particular track they love most is that is the one you made. That's in that Mommy Water song. No, I'm telling you, that Mommy Water. The other one told me, Ada, child, I love your voice. You have a very nice voice. Your song is good. You're saying the truth, though. But I'm a Christian, but I must confess, I love that your song. Keep it up. Yeah. So now, the feedback I get now, it's, man, but then when I started, they were like, some people left, I kept on pushing. So I started using my music to make people see that this thing, there is nothing to fear about. You understand? Yeah. I go to my village, I come open. I called my kindred, as in the ones I can talk to. I tell them, most of them were like dodging me. You understand? Yeah, but today, it seems like more people are coming out to say this. So people are now, when you come to your news, even if you choose to block me, you go to another, you see another person talking. Now, a lot of young ladies now are now very, very proud. If you go to Facebook, you see people have removed their names and attached that Ezewani, Chinwendi, Chinaza. They are now very, very proud, like, because they have seen a lot of people.
Let me give you a virtual audience since we're let me give you digital audience since we're not near each other. Absolutely.
So because they have seen a lot of people are coming out. Yeah. They have seen a lot of people are coming out, even singing it in a song. As a, come on, they are now doing their destiny. Yeah. So that's the thing. No, so the feedback I get initially wasn't this thing, but because I kept on. I know that I am on the right track. To me, or what people need is someone that will come out first. Be saying it. You will see a lot of people, a lot of them started coming, they were like, nah, Ada, I know, most of them were like, I know this thing, but I'm afraid to come out because of the kind of people I have on my list and relatives and friends. They'll go and report me to these, but once they see people coming out, you know, I was like, as a musician, you can call me an entertainer or whatsoever. Let me use this to influence. Let me influence them the positive way. I can decide to know this and decide to be singing anything, as in not to sing this kind of song I sing. I can decide to sing another kind of song and do what I do, practice what I practice, and refuse to talk about it. But it's of no use because I see that our people are wallowing in ignorance. You can imagine that I will bring out Nzu, bring out Kola to pray. I'm praying to Chuku, praying to my Chi. You understand? Praying to my ancestors. then you will be like, you started like running away from me. Whereas these things doesn't kill. Even it got to a point as I writing movies. Do you get me? If you go to my YouTube, Chinaza Ada Igbo, you will see some of the clips I did. You understand? As I writing stories that, you know, because another thing that what do I say? These people that are deceiving our people used to keep our people in bondage is movie, Nollywood. They paint our culture back.
Wow.
Like you'll be watching a movie, someone goes to Dibia, native doctor. You understand? Maybe for one problem or the other. One of the things is that they don't even project Dibia as a good thing.
At all.
They will project it as an evil, as somebody who will go there to tell him, give me a charm to kill this person. Give me a charm to kill, to tie this person not to progress. You know? This is what they are telling people that Dibia means, Dibia does. So at the end of the day, before the end of the movie, they not bring a pastor who use Bible to go and cast and bind the Dibia and then burn the shrine. So at the end of the day, our people watch this, they see that this is how it is, this is reality. So when they see you using this Nzu white chalk, using this color, they have not the same people, all this evil. So they start running away from. I was like, no, you understand? So I started making some stories. I will write, then screenplay, then call some people that are interested in acting, direct them on what to do and how to act, you know. Then I call a camera person, they shoot, I edit and post. But just that along the line, you know, most of these things, it's not easy to gather people that are from far, you have to pay your TP, pay for the camera person, do and also along the line, it seems like I stopped because I stopped at episode. I started that as early as 2018, 2019. But along the line, I stopped due to there is no financial support and backup. I left them. But my reasons were like, I have to come out boldly to make our people understand, to stop being afraid of something they're supposed to embrace comfortably, that is harmless. But because of what the movie we watch portray our culture, our people are misbehaving. So I see that is ignorance, but I see the need to reach out to them to make them understand. I know a lot of people on my list that have changed, have come to understand. They are no more telling me, even tonight, I will post something. You can never see a bad, as in a negative comment that will come and tell me, yes, you are talking rubbish. You hardly see it now. So our people are waking up gradually, as in massively, in fact.
And there's a way that life is funny. The more you move into what's true for you, the more people who are not for you start disappearing and fading away. The more the people that you're supposed to be around start coming closer, that type of thing. So I'm seeing that it kind of parallels your own experience. And the thing is that's funny too, is that you said something, is that these things are harmless, right? And before I get to the Nollywood one, because that's an entirely different thing, but if you listen to that the song you made, you understand. And if you're listening to the words you're saying, there's nothing you're saying that is not scientific fact. You understand? Water has no enemy. Everyone needs water. Water is cleansing. Water is pure.
Water heals. I tell them that water heals.
Water gives, exactly.
Yes. Then I will just use a practical, normal way. I'll tell them, now when you are sick, like you're having headache and all that, you get headache drug, as in a drug that you're gonna take so that headache will stop. Now, when you are taking drugs, you don't just put it in your mouth like that. You need water to pass it on.
Absolutely.
This is the way I used to, to pass out the message. Then common sense should tell you that this guy is saying the truth. Meaning water heals, because that's a drug, you have to take it with water. Then even if it's a local herbs, as in these leaves we pick to cook as medicine, water is being used to cook those herbs, and you take it. So, me don't go record that word.
Yeah, so the funny thing is, even water, let's even take medicine away from it. Water by itself, you understand? If you're not drinking that thing, oh, you're gonna die. That's just all it is to it, right?
That's just it.
So you cannot find somebody that says "Miri bundu," say that person is evil, and then if I give you this, you'll drink it. You understand? You know? You know,
even in that Bible, they read that tell them water is life.
Yeah.
You understand? There's a place you have forgotten. A lot of things that we are saying is
they should ask themselves. They should ask themselves. Yeah. Why did they take Jesus, the Son of God, and dip him in water? You understand? They should ask themselves what that is. You understand? So it's very funny, but I mean, I don't want to make, yes, it's true. I don't want to make my mission like an anti-Christian mission or anything like that. But you said something that is also very strong, because that's not what, if they want to do what they want to do, let them do their own, you know, that type of thing.
That's it. That's one of the principles of our ancestors.
Absolutely. Exactly. But there's something that you said that was very strong. It was the fact that when you were speaking to your parents, you were using the Bible itself. You understand?
Yes.
You were using the Bible itself. If you actually read, if you actually read what is happening in the Bible, there's the Christianity of that is written is not the same as the one that's spoken and done in a building. You understand? Because the one that's written says, "Don't even build a church. Don't even build a temple to me." You understand? So no, it's interesting that you use those things, and I
have to use something that is familiar with them to open their eyes.
But it's harmless. And I tell people all the time, you know, people ask, like, talk about Omenala, Odinani, whatever you want to call it. And I tell them that it's not a religion. Whether or not you want to believe it, it is happening. You understand? If you don't believe water has these particular properties, you understand?
It doesn't change the fact that it is.
Exactly. Right? If you say I don't believe in Anyanwu, it won't stop you from seeing the sun. You understand? Because that's what that is. And another thing I try to explain to people is that in the Christian worldview, which is usually the one that most people are familiar with, the only thing that is good is God. Everything else is evil. The world is evil. Every single thing, the human being is evil. Even to create a child, that one is evil. Everything is evil. You understand? The only thing that is good is God, right? But the way our ancestors see it, all of these things come from God. So just like if you have a good friend, right? Let's say you have a good friend and they give you a nice watch, like a nice watch. You understand? You're gonna be grateful for that watch. You understand? You may even show people, look at what my friend got me. You understand, as that type of thing. So now you have this world. You've been given water, you've been given land, you've been given air, you've been given light. And to show gratitude for those things is what our ancestors were doing. They were not, it has nothing to do with evil or anything like that. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
So I think you answered a lot of the questions, because one of the questions I was going to ask was, how do you respond to people when you get that pushback, when they try to fight you or they try to act like what you're doing is wrong?
How do I come again? Beyond it, please.
Yeah. How do you respond to people when you get pushback, or when they say that what you're doing is wrong, when they try to denounce what you are doing?
Well, like I said, before I respond, I put myself in their shoe. I remember those days when, because before I started, I told you that I was a Christian. I claim to be, I'm not a Christian, but it's ignorance that made us think that we are Christians.
Okay.
You understand? So while I was ignorant, like those people that tells me that what I'm doing is wrong and all that, I can remember there was one certain man on my list. I also talk about one of the things I say now. See that we have deviated what we are doing. The church is not for us. Now that, I remember when I will fight this person, I will say, you're going to hellfire. So I remember those days I was living in that ignorance that if you tell me that, even if it's possible, because that's one of the wrong thing about these people. When you try to tell them the truth, just open the fact, or even call them, let's just argue, let's just make a debate about this. You understand? With practical proofs. Once you just say, nah, Jesus Abroya, as in you people's pattern no BMC, they some of them, if there is any harmful listen, they'll just break your head. So that was the kind of aggressiveness I have then. Yeah. So now that I've understand, if people come to me that way, I remember those days I was like, I would just say, well, it's not your fault. So I don't respond harshly to them because I know that if they know what I know, that if they understand the way I understand, they won't say this. So I remember a lot of people that have said wrong things about me, saying that what I'm doing is no good. I remember a lot of them, they're now as an you understand? They're now following me, saying what I'm saying is true. So I'll be like, okay, for this person to say that what I'm doing is wrong, it's probably out of ignorance. Sometimes I don't ask. Now, I don't have time to reply. You understand? Gone are the days I reply people. But now I keep doing what I do. I'll like, it's not your fault. But I believe one day your eyes go open because I was once like you. So almost chiginige mepanya we water this thing one day. So I don't respond to people harshly now. Before I do, you understand? But when I started like thinking, I put myself in their shoes. Like it's not their fault. It is what the society now gives, tells them. So they believe it to be that way. So what I do, that's why I told you I choose to use my music to pass message. The one thing about music is that even if you've seen me and know that, okay, so is this girl that normally comes here to tell us rubbish about culture, well, let me listen to music. Or when you're passing, once you hear that music, the rhythm will just add, you know, the good rhythm and the voice, the nice voice, you'll be like, let me sit down. So along the line, what I do is I choose to use my music to pass the message. I'll drop a very transparent words. That's why I choose to use the kind of lyrics I use. That there is no how you will listen to those things, you would not start thinking about, even if you leave. That those words will be resounding inside you that you start asking yourself questions. So this is my own tricks to make them listen and ask themselves questions. So I don't believe in talking too much, coming to type and comment and reply you. No. Even now, some people that will come and tell my mother this and that, because they've talked and talked and talked, I still kept on doing what I do. You understand? So they don't disturb me. The only thing they will just chin for the negative ones. So then the ones that accept what I'm doing, they are now coming. I know a lot of people that were dodging me, but what I do was I started living the true life I bundi bonebi. I started making them understand that this thing is not evil, unlike how they think based on what the church told them, what they see in the movie. You understand? I started using it on my siblings. You understand? I will come out open and pray. Then they'll be like, everybody not here. They hear my word, it's very good words. I'm just praying. What I'm doing. So because they are close and hearing me pray this prayer, and they're like, come on, nah. There is nothing evil about this. You understand? So, I'm not planning, I'm not thinking evil against my fellow human beings. Anyone that thinks evil for me, it goes back. That's so they were like, once they see this, nah, the way we pray, the way we put our prayer, and people started coming close. Those who that were dodging me, they started coming close. And feel free. Some of them will tell me, nah, I want to. Take now. This is our lifestyle. This is who we are. Keep doing what you're doing. At the end of the day, the message will sink into them, and they will realize that you are not. Most of them say that we are attacking them. Yes, sir. You'll not realize that we are not trying to harm them. We are trying to open their eyes, make them see what you see. So I don't reply harsh on them because first I know that it is out of ignorance. You understand? So what I do, I keep doing what I do. I keep doing my song. I keep passing the message. One day, you come back and say, "Nne, what you're saying is true." If you don't come back, there's no. I don't have time. I don't reply people actually now, but it was before. But that's it.
I understand. So now things were moving for you. You dropped the video, you released the album, that type of thing. Now I know as of recent, I'm seeing that you have the gauze or the cast on your arm. And then when we spoke, you said you had a car accident, correct?
Mm-hmm. Please, I didn't get you.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. So it's okay. Yeah. Recently,
okay, is it about my hand?
Yeah, about your arm. You had an accident. I know you had told me you had an accident.
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed
I had an accident. I had an accident about 2 months ago.
How are you healing?
That's why you're seeing me on bandage. Yeah. Hello.
How are you healing?
Okay. I've been on treatment. You know. I have a native orthopedic doctor working on it. You understand? So the man do visit me here at home to check on the hand because the arm was broken, the bone was broken. Yeah. I'm healing gradually. You understand? It's just patience. It has not been easy for me because a lot of things I'm not being able to do it myself. Most of the things I do, even my work, I no more do. This is 2 months now. So
has your music has your music helped you in dealing with it and healing and so forth?
Yes. I'm not going to deny the fact that my music have not. My music is one of the healing do I say healing tool, you understand, that is helping me because most of the songs you see, I do, music has a way of strengthening one's soul. Good music heals the soul. It inspires people. It makes people come alive. Especially there's this song I did, the one I sang, Mirina Warrior. So that music, when I wake up, I play a lot of my song and the worship song I used to worship and praise my chi. So each time I play most of this song, there is this hope that comes alive in me that is just a matter of time. You understand? Everything will soon bounce back to normal. So my music has been a good help in my healing process.
Okay, so the way I see it, right, is that there's a community of us, and it's not just Nigeria, it's everywhere. I speak to people here in America, people in the UK, people in Jamaica, Africans that are waking up and they're coming towards the way of their ancestors. And the way I see it is that we need to, those of us that are moving in this particular direction and are awakening and trying to rebuild what was lost, we need to stick together and support each other. So when I saw that you had that accident, I immediately said, okay, I need to do something, or at least I need to help in doing something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open, I'll figure out how it's done, but I haven't done it before. But I'm going to open what's called, do you know about GoFundMe?
I do hear about that. I do see it on Facebook
Okay,
and me.
so
But I don't know
GoFundMe.
how it goes.
Okay, yeah. So GoFundMe is a website where people will contribute money to a cause, right? They'll donate to a cause, and then whoever that cause is for, it'll go to them. Okay, so what I'm going to do for your medical expenses and to make things easy for you, and so that you can continue doing what you're doing, because it's very important. You've shown a lot of courage, you've shown a lot of leadership.
Yeah.
What you're doing inspires people. Your music, when you said, when I asked about the healing aspect of the music, listening to your music also lifts my spirit as well. And I want you to continue doing what you're doing, and thank you for what you're doing and encourage it. So we're going to open a GoFundMe for you. And then on behalf of the Medicine Shell, our supporters, everybody, this community that we have built as around the Medicine Shell channel, we're going to contribute and see if we can help you with some of your medical expenses, and also give you thanks for what you're doing and so forth. So you and I we'll talk and coordinate that afterwards, okay?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's a very nice idea. You understand? So
okay, awesome. So and then I wanted to ask.
I'm excited, you know, and at the same time I'm surprised. Man, thank you very much.
Oh, for sure. You have a lot of fans here in the US, and of course, a lot of people that watch my channel are back home. A lot of people that know my channel know your music as well. So like I said, there's a community forming and we need to support each other. I do want to ask before we finish things, what is the best place people can go to listen to your music and support your music?
The best way that I need support in my music, it's finance. And also because music needs promotion, you understand? And every musician needs a larger audience, you understand? So as to grow. Now, when it comes to my YouTube, if I don't create more content, like I have a lot of songs that I've done, but sometimes I feel like shooting a good musical video, you understand, with a nice concept to display in the video to make people understand perfectly well what I'm singing. But because of the cost of some of these videos, it has kept me, I don't know if I should say, kept me back. You understand? But still, it hasn't stopped me from doing what I do. I have a lot of songs that are yet to be recorded. You understand? I get songs, I write them down, I compose, I record it on my phone because I don't have a studio. So anytime I'm able to get money, then I rush to the studio, pay for sessions, then do one and come back. And so this is how I'm doing it small. And you see, most of the things I do, I pay. And sometimes there are ideas I want to like do, some things I want to do, but because of money, I can't do it. So it becomes spending. So the best way to support my music is finance. Because sometimes I feel like organizing, what do we call it, shows, you understand, where I can come live, you understand, and reach out to a larger audience, most especially some people that are not on social media. Because I feel that there are a lot of people that still need to hear this message. Because sometimes I feel like hosting a live event to go and sing, then invite some other people that can also come and sing and pass out this message. But the idea is so big that I don't have what it takes to execute it. So sometimes I kept them back, just piling them up. So it's only finance that seems to be drawing me back, but still, it hasn't stopped me from writing, composing, and doing the little I can. So that's the best way to support my music. It's through finance and through people liking my page and subscribing to my YouTube.
Onye ga-anụrụ olu m karịa n'uchimo, onye ga-ekwuru ọnụ m karịa n'uchimo, onye ga-emere m ihe karịa n'uchimo. Chinaza mo, Chinedu mo, Chinazo mo, Chibike mo, njewe jewe jeruwo ọkwa chimo, nlawa lawa laruwo ọkwa chimo, onye ọkaikpe mụ na mmụ ọkwa chimo, onye na-ekwuru m ọnụ m ọkwa chimo. Chinedu m ije, Chinenye mo, Chidebere, Chinagọrọ mo, Chukwame, Chọma mo, Chukwame, Chọma mo, Olumekelo, Norurugyo, Chukwame, Ada Igbo ekele.
I understand, you know, I spent part of my life in Nigeria as well, or back home as well. So I completely understand, but you, as far as the Medicine Shell goes in our community, you have support from us. So like I said, I'm going to include the link to the GoFundMe to help you with your expenses and in your healing process. I'm also going to include the link to your YouTube channel and your Facebook for those who are interested in hearing your music and getting to know more about you. So Chinaza, I want to thank you very much for taking your time to do this interview. Like I said, I've been a fan for a while, and I wanted.
Can you feel the change? Can you feel the change of weather? Are you seeing the change of weather on my background?
Yeah, I just saw it.
It's about to rain, as in the weather has changed. It's about to rain. So
yes, it happened fast.
Yes, I opened the window and the door. Okay. You understand? So that there's no light ahead to enable you see me very well. But as you can see, the room is getting dark because it's about to rain. So I don't know if it's affecting.
No, everything looks fine. It looks fine. It looks good.
Okay.
Yeah. So and we're wrapping up anyway. We're about to finish. So like I said, I want to thank you for everything. Stay safe, and we are praying and hoping that, you know, you heal effectively and your music goes all over the world, which it will. It's only a matter of time. So yeah, I'll let you have the last words if you want to let the audience know anything else.
Okay, you want me to drop a last word? Last word, yes. Well, what I have to say is, I keep saying it, and even when sleeping, it is very, very important that one reconnects back to his or her roots. For those of us that for those of us that are not connected, it's very, very important to reconnect back to your roots, because your power lies in your roots. There is no way a child will call on his own father for help and the father will not come. This is one of the things I tell people. My father's name is Okorafo. My grandfather's name is Okabie. Now, my father is late. My grandfather is late. My great-grandfather is late. But over there, they are now our ancestors. When it comes to Christianity, most of those, they are Peter, Paul, they call them saints, but they are dead.
Their ancestors.
If I call my own ancestors, you said it's evil. Now, there is no way these two people, Peter, those ones in the Bible, the Christians reference as their saints, even Jesus that they pray to is dead.
Yes.
He's an ancestor. That is, if he exists. Now, my own ancestors, if I call on my father for help, if I pray to my own Father, you understand? The one, their DNA runs in me. When I call on them and call on St. Peter and call on Jesus over there, who's going to answer me first? Who's going to come to my aid? It is my own Father.
You're trying on our own, guys.
Before that one in Israel runs to come, things are spoiled. He has to listen to his that person you're calling Jesus, Peter, Paul. They also have their own children. Israel is a country. Israel is a country, but we are here calling the God of Israel. I have my own God
of our Father.
And I'm calling the God of Israel. The God of Israel, you have to face Israel and save the people of Israel first.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So what I need is to focus on my own God. My own God, the God of my Father. When I call on them, they answer me fast. So let's stop deceiving ourselves. We have to return back. It's very, very important that we embrace our roots.
Chinaza, thank you very much for all of this. And as always, Kachifo.